car or truck. Batteries that go from your lawnmower all the way to a tractor trailer. We carry all sizes. Let us be your first place that you shop for your new battery. Our helpful staff will do our best to sell you the right battery for the right application.
Don't miss the Golf Shop radio show broadcast every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
From Gordon.
And good afternoon. Kevin Hastings along with Ken Link and Addison Johnson's off the disabled list this week. Welcome back, Addison, to the show.
It's funny. That's funny. I like that.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
All right, not been too happy with you for the Steelers this week. We're going to talk about that. Ravens and Browns getting better all around you. Bengals got better by just getting rid of their head coach. What are the Steelers going to do? Colin Cowherd picked the Steelers today to still win the division, so if that makes you feel better there.
They will.
We've got big-time news, NCAA action, ACC tournament all weekend here on WCSL and KTC Broadcasting, and big news and around the area. We've got that. We've got high school baseball is just getting started. We've got high school basketball just ended. State championships this weekend. Yes. And, Ken, we're going to get to that in a little bit, but you wanted to start with the NCAA basketball. We've got a Patriot League championship game tonight on KTC. You want to break down Bucknell and Colgate, or was you want to talk ACC?
I wasn't going to break down Bucknell.
Okay. I didn't know where you wanted to start, but we got that tonight, so go ahead, Ken.
Well, let's start with some of the action that's already taken place in some conference tournaments. Last night, huge upset, St. Mary's defeated Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference Championship game 60-47.
It's not
bad. St. Mary's has already lost 11 games on the season, and they had previously, when they played Gonzaga earlier in the year, lost by 48. But last night they slowed it down, made them play half-court basketball, and completely outplayed them, led the whole game, and at the end was tacking on the margin, making it bigger. So question is, Gonzaga went in that game as ranked as the number one team in the nation, and obviously in great shape as far as getting a number one seed. Do they still deserve a number one seed?
Well, I don't think Virginia does from last year, losing the one seed. So
I mean,
I'd kick them out. If you lose by how many points you say they just lost by?
Lost by 20 last year to what was it? University of Maryland at Baltimore County or something like that.
Yeah.
By 20 in the first round to 16th seed. That's what's amazing. Sometimes you can get beat on the buzzer beater, but you get destroyed by 20 as a first round seed in the first round. Unbelievable.
Some other big news. Gardner Webb from the Big South Conference is going to the big dance for the time in the school history.
Kevin, I
took 3 steps away. I had the music queued up, and Addison starts running his mouth. Hold on, Addison.
Oh, there you go.
I was walking in there to play that for you, and you start running off.
Gardner Webb Bulldogs.
Gardner Webb!
The first time in school history that they're going to the big dance. Congratulations to the boys over at Bowling Springs.
We don't know where they're going. They're probably, a 16 seed or 15?
Probably.
Wouldn't it be nice, Ken, if they would bring the Bulldogs to the Greensboro, Charlotte, whichever. It doesn't matter what one seed they're playing, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So let them come down here and be the sacrificial lambs. Yeah. Hey, if Virginia deserves the 1 seed, let's have Gardner Webb and Virginia. Is it in Charlotte or Greensboro? I guess Charlotte. I'm guessing. I don't know where they're at. I'm just assuming.
That could be a recipe for a matchup for an upset.
I'm proposing Gardner Webb at Virginia, folks. Let's make it happen. KTC starting the bandwagon. We're going to hashtag Gardner Webb, Virginia. How about that, Ken?
That'd be it. Another fairly local school around here, Wofford, is going from the Southern Conference. Last I looked, they was ranked like 20th in the country. The Wofford's got a good team. They beat UNC Greensboro, who's got an excellent ball team. They won that conference, and they beat them in the conference tournament, so they've got it all to be in as well.
Let's go over the national rankings real quick, and we'll talk about, and we'll see if some teams will flip-flop around in the next couple of days. Gonzaga's at number 1 for right now. Virginia sits at number 2, UNC 3, Duke at 4, Kentucky 5, Tennessee 6, Michigan State 7, Texas Tech 8, Tennessee 9, LSU 10, and Michigan at 11. We got other ACC schools that you might think about. You got Florida State is number 12, and Virginia Tech is 16. And they play tonight, like you said, right?
Will be tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, my bad.
Assuming Virginia Tech wins, which a while ago they was up 17 at the half over Miami. So, yeah, that'll be a good matchup. The fact that will be obviously, I think, a pretty close matchup and a good game tomorrow in the ACC tournament.
Let's talk about Tennessee for a second.
Okay.
Tennessee has really fell off really bad. They were number 1 for a while, and the number 1 seed's been flip-flopped around a lot this year. And usually, when a team gets the number 1 spot, they're usually pretty dominant and hold on to it. But this year, we've seen a lot of number 1 seeds going in. We've had Duke a couple times. We have Gonzaga a couple times. Tennessee, I think, held it the longest, right?
Yeah, they did. Well, how well they held it the longest, but they were in there a few weeks, and then they lost a game. I think the LSU, then they got beat bad by Kentucky.
Yeah.
But then they had the return trip. They beat Kentucky again. But Tennessee has dropped off. They've lost a couple of games in the SEC. So you still got some good SEC teams in there, and that you got Kentucky, Tennessee, and LSU is still playing good ball too. But that's only probably 3 good teams in the SEC.
Top 4 teams are all ACC teams. So do you see in the tournament, the big dance later on? Do you see those 3 teams making it pretty far? Virginia, Duke, and UNC. Do you think they'll make it pretty far into the tournament?
I'm not going to bet Virginia's going to make it pretty far after what they did last.
Well, I'm actually say they make it a little farther. I'm gonna say they should make it. They should make it farther. Hopefully this year.
Now they should get a number 1 seed. I mean, even if they lose in the ACC tournament, they're probably going to get one of the 4 seeds. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But you got Virginia, Carolina, and Duke there, and North Carolina has won 14 out of the last 15, and they're playing well. And I know they beat Duke without Zion Williamson on the court. I understand that, but still, Duke and Carolina, you still got to go out.
Kent, who had more All-Americans in that game?
Well, there's no doubt that Duke did.
So what does it matter if Zion Williamson was there or not?
I mean, they had 2 all-conference players, Barrett, Zion. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I thought would be a decent point.
But let me give you
Trey Jones was All-American, wasn't he? McDonald's All-American.
I'm sure. I just assumed the whole starting lineup was.
Cam Reddish was, Zion was, RJ was. I'm pretty sure Trey Jones was. I mean, that's the whole starting lineup except for those
Trey
big
Jones.
men.
Yeah. Trey Jones is overrated. He's a good defensive player,
Yeah.
but he's not very much on offense. That game was the last game of the season, as it always is in the conference play, and the conference championship for the regular season is on the line, as it is a lot of times in that last Duke-Carolina game. Mm-hmm. And Carolina won it, and so they got a share of the conference title with Virginia. Virginia got the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament, but they got to share the conference championship. Here's a stat I bet you didn't know. 9 times in the Roy Williams era at Carolina, when he's been head coach, Duke and Carolina have played that last game of the season 9 times with either a share of or outright title on the line for the ACC championship. You know how many games Carolina's won? All of them. All 9 games. Coach K couldn't come through with a clutch win in that last game of the season. Now, Duke wins ACC tournaments. They don't win conference tournaments that much with Roy in there. In fact, since Roy's been back, he's won 9 ACC conference titles. Coach K's won 3.
That's pretty good.
And since he's been back, national titles, Roy Williams 3, Coach K 2. Final Fours, Roy Williams 5, Coach K 3. So since he's been back, Coach K, you have to take a second seat to him.
Carolina's been doing pretty well in this thing with less All-Americans.
Let's have some. We got a little bit.
I did real quick one question on that. I don't know if we kind of mentioned the other day, but with Roy passing out like he's doing, he just signed a contract extension.
To what, 2028 or something like
Coach
that?
K 72.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Well,
At what point do you say, hey, I've been doing this for 40-something years. I've made
Love the game.
$100 million. I'm sure he loves the $10 million more than he loves the game, don't you think?
No.
He wouldn't take.
I'm sure he enjoyed.
So if Duke offered him $2 million, he'd love it just the same.
I'm sure if Duke offered him $2 million, I'm sure he would just resign.
Well, that's what I'm just. That's what I'm saying.
But no,
if he loved
it's
it,
just a
what
respect
did Rasheed
thing.
Wallace just do?
It's just a respect thing.
What did Rasheed Wallace just do?
He's coaching at
At
Michael
a
Jordan's high school.
He turned down.
It's like a lot of coaches. They say when it
He's
quits
not
being
at Jordan's
when it
high
quits,
school.
when
I
it-
thought who's coaching at Jordan
He's
High
in
School?
Durham. He's at Jordan High School. It's not Michael Jordan's high school.
I thought it was called.
No, it's called
somebody told
Jordan
me.
High.
Oh,
it's
Jordan
not
High.
Yeah, Jordan went to Laney in
I know,
Wilmington.
a lot of coaches say when it stops being fun for me, or if I stop getting excited I used to, I'll be ready to time to
It's when you're losing.
call it quits. But most of the time, the health problems catch up with them before that happens.
But here's my question: when you get into coaching and like that, when you at the start of your career, let's say when I got how old were they, wherever they were when they got their first head coaching jobs at 35 or 40, did they say to themselves, I'm going to keep doing this till I'm 75, you think? Or was that the goal, or do you just keep making the millions and millions and millions and you just I want to know what there's something that fuels them other than just, hey, I'm 75.
Yeah.
When do you quit? At what point do you say, I'm done, I just want to relax and do something else? So I don't know, these coaches coaching that long kind of.
Yeah, it is. Now, I got another set of stats for you.
All right.
You'll like this, Kevin. I read an article this week. There's something called PAKE stats, performance against expectations. The K stands for some kind of system they got where it's got to accumulate stats. But basically, he's talking about in the NCAA tournament, how well you've done as far as performing against expectation. There's also one that's called performance against seed expectation once you're seeded.
Yeah.
Similar in a way. But anyway, the top 10 was very similar. Top of the list is top-rated coach is John Carroll Perry at Kentucky. Number 2, Roy Williams. Number 3, John Beilein, Michigan. Number 4, Tom Izzo, Michigan State. Number 5, Jim Boeheim, Syracuse. Number 6, Frank Martin, South Carolina. Number 7, Dana Altman, Oregon. Number 8, Porter Moser, Loyola, Chicago. Number 9, Bill Self, Kansas. And number 10, Mark Few, Gonzaga. And Coach K was like 48 or something like that. But here's the stat I want to share with you. The worst rated coach in this ranking, Tony Bennett at 258 last. Barnes is at Tennessee is 255.
Barnes is that low?
Yeah, he's rated bad. And for NCAA, as far as it meeting expectations.
So Barnes where's he at right now? Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
So before Barnes got to Clemson, were they any good at basketball?
No, he did
Before
a good
Barnes
job.
got to Texas, were they any good at basketball?
No, well, he's done a
Before
good-
Barnes got to Tennessee, were they any good at
But he
basketball?
hadn't done well in the tournament.
I understand that.
I got you. I
But
got you.
as soon as he gets to these places, he puts 20-win seasons again. You're right, the tournament.
And talk about Bennett. What Bennett's done the last couple of years in ACC's amazing.
yeah.
But he don't have. In fact, they said last year's loss really hurt him as far as expectations, But he said they didn't do well before last year. It just last year was so
Didn't they
bad.
about lose the year before that or something?
Yeah,
2 or 1 seed again?
So they haven't done well when they got to tournaments. And I just thought that was some interesting stats.
Trust him, as far as I can throw Tony Bennett. I do. I have a Tony Bennett, kind of like one of those things somewhere in our collection of something on the Charlotte Hornets. It's actually like a cutout standout. It's like one of these but paper. Yeah, there you go.
I got you.
Just knock over the figurines. If you're watching on YouTube, that was stupid. All right, kid.
All conference team was. Go ahead, Addison.
We got Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett from Duke. I know Guy plays for Virginia. I know he's the sharpshooter.
Andrew Hunter and Guy from Virginia.
Johnson from UNC.
Yep. May did not make the first team. He was the leading vote getter on the second team. And, of course, Kobe White was also on that second team.
Let's talk about the freshman of the year real quick. Freshman year and player of the year, by the way.
Zion Williamson.
Yeah, how's that ring to you, Kev?
That's a terrible decision, I would say. I don't know exactly how many games he played. I'm gonna look it up here in a minute, but
Yeah.
He missed, and there's another game he got hurt and missed most of the game. Hurt his eye.
so he got named freshman of the year and player of the
year.
year because he was really good against the North Carolina Schools of the Blinds and the Colgates and stuff like. Because that's who Duke played the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Right? Is that
Non-conference.
what I'm getting?
And he had great stats. He shot 68% from the floor, plus all the other stuff he did.
Well, I asked, why wouldn't it have been one of the other guys or I don't know. It's just weird. They almost never give it to someone who didn't.
Why don't you give it to
play the whole
Why don't you give it to a player on a team that deserves it? The team's struggling. Duke is struggling right now.
Well, they are right now when they're on the bench. Kobe White, by the way, won 5 Freshman of the Week awards. Same number as Zion won during the regular season.
So,
Yeah,
of course,
I
they
know.
won the first game against Kentucky, and then here's who they rattle off wins for Zion to win Player of the Year. Army, Eastern Michigan University, San Diego State, beat Auburn, lost to Gonzaga, beat Indiana, beat Stetson, Hartford, not Harvard or Harvard, whatever, Yale, Princeton.
Ivy League school. Wow.
Wow, the big schools, the
Where
tough teams.
Those are where the kids, where the celebrity parents put them on the basketball team. So, they're not even real basketball players. No wonder they scored 58. That's Aunt Becky's son is playing for
they just
Yale.
Put a face
Come
on.
on.
Them. You just thought they was that.
You know that story that's going on right now, Addison? About the skill set of celebrities have been buying their way,
So
their
kids
kids'
can play
ways
on
into
TV.
colleges, and some of the coaches have been caught up with it because what they're doing is they're bribing the coaches to put them on the athletic scholarships. So they've the mastermind the whole thing has been photoshopping these kids' faces on real athletes to pass them on to this. I couldn't make that up if I want to, Addison.
Then a big investigator got a couple big name movie stars.
Now
that's
remember
caught up
who
in
I
it.
said.
Bolden.
I
That's a big loss right there.
And this is who Duke plays. Princeton, Yale, Hartford, all the schools that the celebrities' kids go to. So how many celebrities' kids are playing against Zion Williamson?
I want to know if
Texas
Zion
Tech.
is going to be playing tomorrow.
Clemson, Wake, Florida State, lost Syracuse, beat Virginia by 2, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame,
So who are they going to put in for Bolden?
Somebody.
That white kid?
Yeah, he ain't no
The big old
good.
tall white boy?
UNC, Syracuse.
Well, they got another guy they put in there that fairly did okay, but you're right. They'll miss Bolden.
Bolden's a big loss for
Is
them.
Zion coming back? Is he going to play?
Well, they say he may play. They ain't telling him.
He ain't coming back.
I was eating at Fats the other day. Now check this out. I was eating at Fats. No, not eating. I was working, and this guy was eating there, and he's a Carolina fan supposedly. And he goes, "Do you think that Zion boy will come back and he'll play in the tournament?" I was like, "I don't know. I mean, I really don't know." And he goes, I was like, "I really don't think it matters. I think since they've lost, Bolden got hurt and stuff and everything." And he was like, "Well, I think if they get Zion back, they'll do good." I was like, "Are you a Carolina fan or a Duke fan?" And he was like,
Give it to him.
I just like watching good players. I was like, "I understand that, but are you a Carolina fan or a Duke fan?" I was like, "You eat A1 with your steak or not?"
You know I'm serving you food.
Yeah,
Be careful.
you won't catch up. You won't catch up with that steak, sir. Needless to say, he got a little mad.
Madison. All right, we got to take a break. You got any other news and notes on the Bulldogs or anyone else?
No, I'll just be pulling for the Gardner Webb Bulldogs, no doubt.
Yeah, I hope it's close by so the fans can enjoy it. Because if they go
Yeah,
to
so they can
Montana,
go. And if it is in this area,
South Dakota.
you'll have a bunch of guys driving down from the Shelby Bowling Springs area to see the game, I'm sure.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Get ready for the big game by starting your day off with a Super Slampler from Denny's in Shelby and Gastonia. Ask for the Super Slampler. It comes with a slice of French toast, 2 buttermilk pancakes, 2 slices of bacon, and 2 eggs, all for only $5.99. That's right, only $5.99. Offer good 24/7. Ask for the Super Slampler at your nearest Denny's location, 3628 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia and 2025 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. From gourmet pizza to New York-style pizza to stromboli and calzones, plus all kinds of appetizers, wings and salads, plus hero sandwiches and desserts. We're talking about Caputo's Pizza Company, New York-style pizza on South Mountain Street in Cherryville. On Monday, get a large one-topping pizza for $9.99. 2 for Tuesday, 2 large one-topping pizzas for $22. Plus every day, get a medium cheese pizza and 10 wings, any style, for just $17.99. And Thursday is Pasta Thursday. Caputo's Pizza Company, 800 South Mountain Street, Cherryville. Like them on Facebook, too. It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
It's Customer Appreciation Day on Saturday, March 30th at Red Rabbit 27 in Lincolnton from 9 to 5. Come by and get free food and drink. Plus, there'll be coupons, sales, free gifts, and door prizes too. Plus, there'll be spring decor, new merchants, spring plants including African violets, and old favorites, jellies, jams, local honey, mountain honey with a comb, and molasses too. And new in stock, Darby's Kitchen elderberry syrup. You've got to try some. That's Customer Appreciation Day, Saturday, March 30th, 9 to 5 at Red Rabbit 27 in Lincolnton. Check us out on Facebook.
I am a veteran. I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding the help I needed. Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Saturday morning sports talk, 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 a.m., Cherryville, Gastonia.
And welcome back to the Best in Sports Talk show here Wednesdays, WCSL 1590 a.m., 92.3 on the FM.
That was the saddest intro I've ever heard.
Well, I was letting Ken finish. Well, Ken, where do you want to go? We didn't even talk about that in the break. Where did you want to go with this?
Let's talk a little bit of baseball since
brought it up.
And Addison's probably heartbroken because he thought Harper was going to end up.
I'm a real big Harper fan.
He thought he was going to end up with the team he wanted him to go to, the Dodgers, but it didn't happen.
Well, I was trying to pull up the batting averages from last year. Addison had a question, but on Saturdays, Carson's a big Trout fan, and he talks about how Betts was 346 last year. So, yeah, it was Betts, Martinez, Yelich, Altuve, and Trout. So what we're bringing up, folks? ESPN came out with the top 50 players in baseball today. And Trout will come out as number 1. And I just want to I'm going to read you his ranks from last year to see how they come up to first place with this. 5th batting average, 121st doubles, 55th hits, 17th runs, 49 triples, 4th home runs, 51st RBI, 16th stolen bases, 2nd walks, and 72nd strikeouts with 124 strikeouts. How does that equal number 1, Ken?
Well, I don't know. Are they considering
he didn't even win the MVP last year either.
Yeah. Are they considering defense, and are they going by some of the analytics?
I'm glad you brought up defense.
Like games above replacement, how much is he worth as far as how many extra games you win a year?
Right. So
above the average player.
So Ken, that's where we're going with this.
Okay.
And we've come to the point where you're paying players on these new age statistics where you add 5 different numbers together instead of what they actually get. So let me give you a heads up on this. So every Saturday, I always bring up some Pujols versus Trout stats. Just Pujols blows Trout out of the water and everything.
Oh yeah.
So I said it's unfair to compare Trout to Pujols, even though the ESPN says Trout may be the best player ever. But what they do the stats on these WAR stats on, it's on fictitious players that don't exist. And then when you look at it, the players with these high numbers, you know what they have? They lead the league in walks.
Oh, yeah.
So to them, a walk is better than a hit or a double or even a home run. by the way the math works out.
And then they come up with the combining the on-base percentage and the slugging percentage to come up with a bigger one, a bigger number that factors in all those ones.
Right. So I decided, I tell you what, let's be fair to Trout. I want to compare him to another offensive powerhouse, Ken, Ozzie Smith. You ready for this one?
Ozzie did hit a lot of home runs. We know that.
We know that. But you know what else he did? Everything else.
Oh, and great
Now, before I get to Ozzie, you know how many gold gloves Mike Trout has? 0. You know how many Albert Pujols has?
He had a lot.
1. Pujols got 1. Ozzie Smith's got 13. Now, let's do the hitting. Don't even talk about defense. These are years, okay? Number of years with 140-plus hits. Ozzie Smith, 10. Trout, 6. Trout's played 7 years. Keep that in mind. 30-plus doubles. Trout, 4. Ozzie, 4. 40-plus doubles. Trout has never hit 40 doubles in his career. Never. Ozzie Smith did it once. Albert Pujols did it 10 times. 100. Let's do 50 RBIs. How about that? Just a low number. Low-hanging fruit for Ozzie. Ozzie did it 9 times. Trout's done it 7 out of 7. You should expect that, right? How about 100 RBIs? Trout's done it 2 out of 7 years.
That's surprising.
Ozzie never did it.
I know sometimes he batted earlier in the order, but still, that's amazing.
So in Trout's career, he's never had 40 doubles, and he's only had 100 RBIs twice in Trout's whole career. Stolen bases. Let's talk about, well, he can steal some bases. All right, 30-plus stolen bases. Trout's done it 3 times. Ozzie did it 11. 40-plus stolen bases. Trout once. Ozzie did it 5 times. 50-plus stolen bases. Trout's never had 50. Ozzie did it twice. How about batting average? 270.
What's the most stolen bases in a season?
100-something by Vince Coleman. Maybe 124. I'll look it up here in a minute.
Jesus.
Yeah, back when they used to steal.
The Cardinals used to run. Dude, they had two players with 100 with Coleman and
God.
And Murray Wills for the Dodgers, he used to be still not crazy, you know.
So 270 batting averages. How about that? Trout 6 years. Ozzie did it 9 times for people that don't think Ozzie batted hit. Ozzie's career batting average is 10 points higher than Bryce Harper's was last year.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper at 250 last year.
Yeah.
Ozzie was a 260 career hitter. And Trout just got $330 million, Ken. 50-plus strikeout seasons.
Yeah.
Ozzie never happened to him.
And here's
Trout struck out 100 times 6 out of 7 years.
We know Ozzie and Pujols played a lot of years. These guys getting a contract, they've yet to play that lot of years.
Right, and they're getting
a
ton of money. So, I think it's good. Who are you a fan of? Who you want him to go to? Did you say Dodgers?
Yeah.
Bryce Harper.
Okay. Listen, y'all going to spend that money on somebody. y'all be okay. In fact, y'all might spend it on 2 people. Who should be happy about it is the Braves fans, because that's $330 million they can't spend on other players. The Braves can.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that ties up a lot of money.
30. What is it? How many is he getting a year? I don't know what the math worked out on that. Was it 13 years?
330 by 13. 13 years, $330 million.
20-something a year.
He's getting a check.
Not bad, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Now I think Jordan paid less on his part for the Bobcats. I know Bob Johnson did for the Bobcats than Bryce Harper and Machado and them were getting
all those stats are
in one contract.
For one player.
Y'all guys like playing fantasy football, and I've played that some, but I like playing fantasy baseball.
I like football more.
And so
I used to play baseball growing up.
When you look at fantasy baseball, you only look at offensive stats and pitching, but you don't look at defensive play.
Yeah.
And coming to that. So I'm always looking at, you try to build a team, 5 categories if you play it for hitting. You got batting average, runs scored, RBIs, home runs, stolen bases. Well, there's just 5 categories. Well, you got to look at your 5 categories, guys. Trout's one of them. Betts is one of them. Yelich came through last year. He's one of them. I, by the way, have a draft tonight for one of my teams.
Mock draft?
No, real draft tonight to draft my team. So I'll be looking at all that kind of stuff. And
who do you think the number 1 pick's going to be?
It'll be Trout. And probably Betts second. And after that, they got Ardo.
Why wouldn't J.D. Martinez?
Bryce Harper and
Martinez.
Bryce
I
Harper
think
is top 10?
Martinez, they got him 4th, I believe.
Bryce Harper top 10?
No, he's top 20.
So
Bryce Harper's not top 10?
Nope. Top
so
20.
Ken, if you close your eyes and say, do you want the guy who hit 43 homers, 130 RBIs, or do you want the guy who hit 39 homers and 79 RBIs?
Yeah, I want the guy with
50 more RBIs,
I want the guy.
and then people tell me RBIs don't mean nothing.
Yeah, and Martinez hit 330 as well as them home runs and RBIs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't mention the fact he hit 330.
And you look at that, you go, well, he don't steal bases. Could get you bases, steal total bases somewhere else because he gives you such massive stats in the other 4 categories. That's where you got to look at it when you do it.
All right. Here's your stolen base all time. There's been 21 seasons of 100 or more.
Taking J.D. Martinez if he's available. Is he a top 10 pick?
I think I'll take Yelich.
I'll take him first.
I might take him. I like Martinez.
Here's your top stolen base seasons. The first one, 1887. You nickel. All right, let's go to the modern times. How about that? Number 1, Ricky Henderson, 130, 1982. Lou Brock is 2, 118, 1974. I'm skipping all the 1800s, guys. Number 3, Vince Coleman, 110, 1985. 1987, Vince Coleman, 109.
Yeah, Coleman's
Ricky Henderson, 108.
Yeah.
Vince Coleman, 107. That's 300 seasons for Vince Coleman. Then a bunch of other people we've never heard of in the 1800s. And Ricky Henderson with exactly 100. So only about 6 times it's been.
I think last year the leading base stealer in the majors had 45.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I think the guy from Kansas City,
is it Billy Hamilton?
No, it wasn't Billy Hamilton.
So what kind of baseball math tells you? Just explain to me that less doubles is better, less stolen bases is better.
Is D. Gordon?
But
really
walks where nothing happens, but you just taking 4 pitches and walking to first is the best thing that you can do on a baseball field. It's either home run or walk. Home run, walk, or strikeout.
It's not. Merrifield was one who scored.
So moving runners over don't count. You know, like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that gets back to the stolen bases. Why don't they steal them now? Why should they? They're gonna wait for everybody swings for the fences. Why steal second? Just wait and let him hit on run. That's just thinking now
right.
in major leagues.
And let's say about that math. Okay, let's say I'm hitting and there's a guy on first, Ken. And I hit a chopper to second. We got no outs. I hit a chopper up the middle. Shortstop has to get it, make an awesome throw, gets me out at first. But in the meantime, the smart base runner took third.
Yeah.
If I walk, we're on first and second. Yeah. But the math says that's better than the guy being on third with 1 out. And I just almost manufactured a run. All the next guy's got to do is not strike out. Just don't strike out. We're going to score. Yeah.
So and not only that, you got to force it either base now. So it's like, that's not a. It's easier for the defense to make a play.
For 100 and something years,
I don't know. Football's just a lot easier to me.
Yeah, for 100 and something years, baseball's been so complicated that you can't base it on those. You can't just add those numbers together and say that's what.
And I'm a traditional guy. I still go the 5 bases. I look at the analytics and stuff, and they got stuff about launch angle and how many fly balls you hit and the percentage you go up, all that stuff. That's fine, but I like the basic stats.
Well. Ken, I think we got one more baseball story. I don't know if y'all know. You got anything else on your list? No. I got one more to mention, and this is going to break the internet today. Just want to let y'all know before I say anything else. Okay, everyone knows about the big wedding, right? Coming up, A-Rod, J-Lo.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen what's going on Twitter since yesterday? Oh my goodness, Jose Canseco.
I remember him. He's coming out. We got stuff to say.
Jose Canseco says that A-Rod is sleeping with Jose's ex-wife. I told you we're going to break the internet. Just get on Twitter, follow Jose Canseco. It is the greatest 20 minutes or whatever you spend reading Jose's stuff today that you'll ever find. A few weeks ago, I just started following him because he was running a Bigfoot exhibition. Thought that was the funniest thing ever. And then 3 weeks later, he drops this bomb on the world. And he's calling out A-Rod on Twitter right now in front of the world and telling J-Lo that A-Rod has been cheating on J-Lo with Jose Canseco's ex-wife. No. I couldn't make that up if I wanted to. Well, any of what I just said.
Well, Jose, he'll spill the beans. I mean, he was the main vocal one that started spilling the beans.
Right.
On steroids.
What they did to him, kind of what the NFL did to Kaepernick, where all of a sudden nobody's going to sign him when he knows that he could be playing and he could. They didn't want Jose breaking the home run records. What they didn't want. And he's out there just hitting bombs, and he was only hitting people want to compare him to McGuire. McGuire hit 50 points better than Jose. Jose was out there at a home run or nothing.
That's all he ever
McGuire got doubles, walks. He watched the pitches and stuff.
He was an actual hitter.
Yeah.
Jose was swinging.
He was swinging for the fence. He was swinging for now
He
or
was a
nothing.
softball player. Yeah, I mean, he was. But
when he made contact, it was going.
Oh, yeah. You can hit it.
his biceps as big as your head, Addison.
Huh?
His biceps as big as our heads.
He's huge.
The one ball bounced off his head for a home run. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that's really all you got to say. All right, we got to take a quick break. And when we come back, we've got – what else we got, Ken? We got NFL to talk about. We got all kinds of NFL to talk about.
We're going to get to the NFL.
And we got a few preps. We've got to congratulate the women's North Carolina preps basketball team. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Where is my button man? You ready?
Yep.
All right, button man.
It's a triple header of savings at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Save 3 big ways on 3 of your favorites. Right now, buy a brand new Kia for as low as $14,998. But hurry, only 15 are left on the lot at this low price. And right now, brand new Honda Accords start at $21,000 and save up to $10,660 on a brand new GMC truck. Yes, it's a triple header of savings at Renato Kia, Renato Honda, and Renato Buick GMC. All conveniently located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Doctor, what's wrong with my husband?
Let's take a look. CKDKDS Macron. Oh, yes, I've seen this before. Your husband has coyote fever.
Coyote fever?
Yes, he's obviously learned of the hot deals going on now at your local coyote tractor dealer.
Is this serious?
Very serious. Now's the best time to buy one of the best-selling tractors on the market. If you care at all about your husband, you'll drive him over to the coyote dealer now. Oh, and I'm writing you a prescription for great deals on all implements, too.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail.
For over 25 years, Moss Realty has been serving clients in Gaston and surrounding counties. Their realtors know the area, not just from maps and pictures, but from living and working in the community. From Belmont to Kings Mountain, Lincolnton to Clover, and more, the hometown specialists at Moss Realty want you to be their neighbors.
Hi, I'm Warren Moss. Whether you're buying or selling your home in Gaston County, call one of the professionals at Moss Realty or visit us online at mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
Every day is a special day at Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill in Bessemer City. On Monday, it's boneless wings, 65 cents each. Tuesday, BLT and chips, $3.99. Wednesday, jumbo wings, 75 cents. Thursday, Chick-fil-A sandwich, $3. And on Sunday, jumbo wings for 75 cents. Plus, every day, including Friday and Saturday, get natural lights for $1 and select drinks for $2.75. Whiskey Mill Bar and Grill, 201 West East Pennsylvania Avenue in Bessemer City. Check out the daily specials on Facebook.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings along with Addison Johnson and Ken Link and NFL. Speaking of breaking the internet after we just broke it with the Conseco stuff, NFL action today has just been crazy. Browns, Ravens, heavily affecting Addison's Steelers.
Still picked to win it, though. Still picked to win it.
Colin Coward still picks them to win it. I mean, they didn't have Bell last year. I don't know why that, why that would even really matter. Bell signs with the Jets. Here's the thing about that. Bell's contract with the Jets, this is how different money is, guys. One of the best running backs in the league, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost exactly the same as Cody Zeller's for the Hornets.
In basketball.
So you could be as good as Cody Zeller and make the same amount of money as Le'Veon Bell, the best running back in the NFL.
What was the contract? What was the contract?
4 years, $54 million.
Yeah, about $12 million.
52. He said he told somebody he wouldn't sign for $50 million, and he got 52. Yeah. He got that extra too, so he could sign with the Jets. So he's a Jet now.
Oh my God.
Mark Ingram and Earl Thomas.
Yeah, Earl Thomas
are both Baltimore Ravens now. Adrian Peterson is returning to the
Redskins.
Washington Redskins.
Oh my God, Father Time back again.
And Ken, the Panthers signed a center.
They did.
Anyone else?
No. Not
Benjamin not Benjamin. Funchess goes to the Colts.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good pickup for the Colts.
Thomas Davis goes to the Chargers.
Thomas Davis to the Chargers. So bye-bye, Thomas.
Yeah.
And Greg Olsen still ain't decided what he's doing. I think he's got, I think Monday Night Football is begging him to come on there. And
I'm sure they are. Maybe. And I heard that
Jason Witten signs the Cowboys.
I heard that ESPN and Fox was sort of interested too, so he might get a little bit of bidding war going. He might say, "Hey, let's go to the booth rather than football."
So let's talk about this AFC North.
So what is Jason Witten? Hold on, real
Addison
quick.
says
Real quick. What is Jason Witten going to do for the Cowboys?
Catch 50 balls and 3 touchdowns.
About what he always has.
Oh my God.
Same thing every year. What do you mean? What's he going to do?
He's not going to
and be the best run blocking tight end in the league. That's what he's going to do.
Oh, it's trash.
See, I heard the Cowboys were cheering just because Odell's no longer in their division.
Yeah.
Listen, don't talk about the number 3 all-time receptions leader in NFL history.
I don't care what he is. He still ain't got no rings.
Don't talk about it.
Cole
Beasley. Speaking of no rings, you see Cole Beasley?
Where'd he go?
Signed with the Buffalo Bills. Someone said, a mean Cowboys fan said, "Congratulations, you'll never win anything there." And Cole Beasley said, "I don't know if you noticed that I was in Dallas for 7 years and we didn't win anything there either."
Oh, great comeback!
That was his response on Twitter.
I mean, them Cowboys fans are so stupid, dude.
Go Browns. Speaking of Browns, let's see what happens.
Browns got the biggest pickup.
That's the debate today. Well, the Raiders picked up Trent Williams also too today. The Browns, the Browns trade for Odell Beckham Jr. and everyone's going crazy. Is it good? Is it bad?
It's good.
He's a good player.
And
He's a nutcase.
I think with a young quarterback,
and they gave up too much. So 2 out of 3 things are bad. So other than that, he's a decent player. Now with that said, I want to get my stat out before you go. He's had 9 touchdowns in the last 2 years. Jason Witten's had 5.
Odell's had some injury problems.
He's played with injuries.
Yes.
Yes.
He's only played 16 games once in his career. So we just traded 3 starters for someone who's not going to play 16 games more than likely.
Yeah, but this 16-game starter, maybe one season guy might probably help y'all out better.
Addison, how many wide receivers in NFL history have led their team to a Super Bowl? I'll wait.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with Joe Montana.
No, Jerry Rice. It's all Jerry Rice.
Yeah, all those slants.
Terrell Owens.
No.
Terrell Owens.
What did he do?
Terrell Owens.
Did they win?
They went though.
I said led them to a Super Bowl.
They win.
He led them to the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
You said led.
Okay. How many wide receivers has led their team to winning a Super Bowl?
No, you said led. You can't change it now. You can't change it. Terrell Owens.
But Terrell didn't lead them to the Super Bowl.
Basically, he did. He had played with a broke rib.
If that's what you want to argue about, we're going to waste time. The point is, no receivers make teams Super Bowl winners at all. It's just not happening.
Steve Smith.
What did he do?
He played a big part in that Carolina Panther offense.
Losing the Super Bowl. Okay. Again, what did Randy Moss do in New England? Did not win the Super Bowl. Did not. It just doesn't
One
happen.
player don't make a difference. I understand what you're saying.
Isaac Bruce didn't do nothing in St. Louis until Marshall Faulk and the grocery bagger showed up.
Yeah.
Isaac Bruce didn't do nothing until Marshall Faulk came from Indianapolis in the grocery baggers. JP showed up. And it took him to two Super Bowls, and then he went to one with Arizona. So, yes, he's okay, but I mean, I don't know. Do you think they gave up too much, Ken? A first, a third, and the starting safety?
I don't.
Giants fans think they didn't get enough.
I don't.
I think they gave up a lot.
I don't. I think
you gave up a quality starter in the defensive secondary, and a first-round draft pick, and throw in a third too. Also, now here's the thing: that now the Giants got to eat that dead money. I mean, they don't eat his contract, but they eat that guaranteed bonus stuff up front. They got to eat that.
What about Odell with a second-year quarterback and a first-year head coach?
And
in Cleveland,
and he's with his best. He's with his best friend.
That's going to be great news. They won't get arrested. You're telling me Odell and Juice aren't going to end up on a love boat in Lake Erie?
They're going to shock.
That lake caught on fire. Minnesota got caught on a love boat. Odell's already been on boats. Man,
he's going to shock you, bro. I'm telling you. He's the best wide receiver in the league.
I didn't say he couldn't play. He's not playing 16 games, and he will not finish out
if
his
he
contract.
If he plays 16 games, he's the best wide receiver in the league.
You think so?
Healthy.
Okay. With that said, Ken, why have the Panthers not went after any of these wide receivers? Not Odell, not Brown, not Cole Beasley, nothing.
Because they're going to have to overpay to get them. They're not going to do it. They don't do that.
They don't want to win.
Well, what I'm saying, they're not going to pay. I mean, somebody paid Funges $13 million. I mean,
he's not worth it.
He's not worth it. Panthers didn't even want him. They wouldn't even use him like half of the season.
He's not a bad player. He's an average. He's an average wide receiver.
Well, here's the thing about him. Last year he had dropsies. He couldn't catch the ball. He's never been a great route runner. He don't have great speed.
He's just
He
a
can't
jump
reach
ball
deep,
guy.
so
He's just a jump ball guy.
He'd run his course there. They're not going all after any of these wide receivers because they're just not going to pay them.
Where?
I don't blame them. I'd get them through the draft. They got 2 young guys through the draft. It's pretty promising. Samuel and Moore.
Where do you think the Panthers need/will improve
secondary
from last year?
Secondary.
Where will they improve? Because they have to prove something. You would think. And we talked about this kind of last week. Like, what's their plans with Cam and everything? So, what do you think we're going to improve this to make us better?
Well, they got to improve on the defensive side with the edge rushers. They got.
Their 3 biggest problems.
Well, I say edge rushers. They got to improve the pass rush. They need more rush up the middle too. Now I understand he's going to play a combination this year, Rivera, of 4-3 and 3-4. So he's going to mix it up and try to get probably some stuff. But they got in a draft. They got to
their biggest losses was when I was at the game and I saw them play almost every game was their secondary.
Yeah.
They had no presence in the secondary. Everybody was blowing past them.
Eric Reed's back.
Adams was bad.
Exactly. They ain't got no secondary.
Well,
Adams is gone.
They had two weak spots in that secondary. Adams at safety and Motherland, who was pitiful, at nickel.
And they're both gone.
Both gone.
Well, they need to replace them with 2 guys.
And
they got to be good studs. And their defensive pass rushers, they need some pass rushers on that defense.
They signed Cockerill, the defensive back last year originally was from Duke, and he broke his leg right at an exhibition game, and that was it. So if he's healed up, he maybe can help them at the nickel some. But they need to draft a safety. They need to draft some pass rushers.
Josh Norman.
So.
Josh Norman.
Josh Norman.
Did you see what Josh?
Close to Carolina.
Josh sent a tweet out about Gettleman after he cut Landon Collins.
No.
And he says, cut Landon Collins, get him paid like a cornerback. And Landon Collins got $14 million a year after the Giants let him go.
And
Landon Collins is a good player, though.
Yeah, but a safety worth $14 million a year? Wow. Panthers will not pay that kind of money for safeties.
I think the biggest news is Antonio Brown to the Raiders. There's poor Antonio Brown. He's not going to get any touchdowns this year because Derek Carr's throwing the ball.
What's wrong with Derek?
He's not that good.
Well, he's coming off.
He finished last year in stats.
But he was pretty good before he got injured and before Gruden got there. So.
Well, Gruden's in his ear, and I don't think he can handle Gruden.
Now you used to tell me Bale put on some weight.
He put on some weight.
Well,
from what I heard,
he's going to take it off.
He put on some weight
for the Jets. But
what stats you looking up, Kevin?
Just trying to figure out. Derek Carr, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 94 rating, 4,000 yards. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, he had 9 more touchdowns than the interceptions.
Right.
That's not a good spread for me.
It's not bad.
What's the average?
You just said he's bad. That's not bad. It's 4,000 yards and 94 rating. Anything in the 90s is
My God,
decent.
they didn't have a running back. All they had to do was throw the ball the whole game.
What
else are they going to do, Kevin?
Don't change the argument now.
When you throw it the whole game, they don't know it. That's when
now
you
he's
have
got
to
AB to throw it out to. Who is their running back? I don't even know the running back.
They didn't have Amari. They didn't have no guy named Amari Cooper or anything.
No, he was a Cowboy.
Yeah, but he did. He played for him.
So Ken, right now, where do you got
in the north?
The Panthers.
Oh, man.
In the south. Season starts today. You're picking the south.
I've got them behind the Saints.
In second.
Yep.
I
got the Falcons next. I got Tampa Bay last.
Now, when you say that second, that could be either 10-6 or 11-5, or it could be 8-8.
It could be.
Which end of that spectrum? Because the Falcons fans think they're going to win 10 games this year. So if you're saying that, they'll take it. But if you're saying they're going to be 6-10, the Falcons fans ain't going to take it.
Well, here's the thing about the Panthers, and I know you can say this about a lot of teams. There was only one game that's out of last year, and that was the Pittsburgh game. All the rest of them were close. If they shore up a few areas, they can pull out them close games, and they can have a winning season. If I'd predicted right now, I'd say realistically, I'm saying 9-7. Could it go worse than that and it'd be 7-9? Yeah. Could it possibly go 10-6? Possibly. But right now, realistically, as a Panther fan, I'm looking right around 500, hopefully a game above.
I think, and this, I know this ain't going to be exactly right, but just me guessing. If I remember correctly, it was 10 or 11 out of 13 games, I think, the Panthers in their Super Bowl run was less than like 5 points.
Yeah.
And they had won 10 or 11 of the 13.
And I know a lot of games are close. A lot of teams play close.
That's the way the NFL is now.
Yeah,
if you ever listen to me, I'll say it's fixed that way.
And that's the reason.
Derek Carr was 18th in passer rating last year.
Average, not terrible.
But that's the reason so many fans and teams say, hey, we got a shot. We was close last year in a lot of games. Mm-hmm. But that's true, like you said, throughout the NFL.
Yeah, but how is Antonio Brown going to do with an average quarterback? And then, going from the top 5 quarterback in the league that you played with for 7 or 8 years and going to an average quarterback who's struggling.
Are you saying that Carr, who was 18th last year, is going to be now 21st, or is he going to be 15th?
No, he's gonna do worse probably.
He's gonna be worse than Antonio Brown.
because they lost some big spots.
I can't figure him out.
Derek Carr can't get anything going with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is a great player. He runs in the slot. He runs in the wide. I think he's better.
He played well for the Cowboys, but he didn't play that well the last couple of years before that.
Yeah,
he did early in his year.
Well, we're gonna.
You go to the Raiders, it's just the death of a player.
They're going to Vegas soon. They got to sell some tickets. I wouldn't want Antonio or Odell on my team just because they're both
playing at a college stadium.
Crazy. I mean, I can't remember one receiver that just. I mean, I know Edelman won the dang Super Bowl MVP this year. He probably shouldn't have. But I mean,
Edelman led
did they
him to
go
the
in that
Super Bowl.
game thinking, "Hey, we're going to shut down Edelman"?
Edelman led him to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl MVP.
Well, okay, Desmond Howard did too.
There you go.
Desmond Howard.
There you go.
All right, Ken, the North Carolina All-Star Classic. Carolina's Classic in Wilmington, North Carolina, named their North Carolina and South Carolina teams.
Okay.
Boys and girls.
Let's start with the boys.
There's no local kids in the boys. There's a kid from Freedom. I scored 27 points on Freedom, and they got a kid in the All-Star game. Terrible.
I scored
25 years ago. All right. The girls' game. I'm going to read the women's names. Y'all ready? Yep. Nia Daniel of Hickory Ridge, Laura Godwin of Western Alamance, Tamari Key of Cary, Elizabeth Kitley of Northwest Guilford, Kendall Moore of Pine Forest, Sydney Dollar of East Lincoln, Jatara Moore Peterson of East Bladen, Jada Peebles of Wakefield, Alexander Scruggs of Smith, Asia Todd of Clayton, coached by Patty Evers, and Laura Foster of East Bladen and T.C. Roberson. Ken, what did I just say?
Well, Sydney Dollar, I understand that Dollar kid squad player.
He's playing with the girls. He's gonna dunk on some girls.
He can that.
Somebody made a mistake somewhere.
Sydney can really dunk that ball.
A girls basketball? I bet he can do more with a girls basketball too.
That's an even better question. He's getting to play with the girls basketball. No, Sydney Dollar. I don't know how they got it mixed up or what the explanation is. Maybe we'll figure it out. I really hope this isn't all guys on this right side and they mix two of them up. Because if they didn't, that means there's a girl that doesn't have a spot and they got too many on the boards.
Yeah, exactly.
So what happened is the North Carolina roster came out with Sydney Dollar of East Lincoln on the women's roster. I'm going to say it. Yes, you heard that right. Sydney Dollar's on the girls'
roster. You see Sydney
roster.
showing up. They say, Sydney, you're not on the roster.
He ought to show up in a wig. He ought to show up in a wig and just start dunking on him and say, I dare you to call CNN on me.
About Larry Johnson? you talking about Larry Johnson?
Grandmama, the greatest. But yeah, that's just funny news for that. Baseball coming up this week, Ken. Let's see what we got in Lincoln County. Where are you guys going to be at? East Lincoln on the 19th?
Well, next Tuesday we're going to be at East Lincoln. Yeah, we're going to have East Lincoln and North Lincoln. That should be a pretty good ball game.
Okay, North Lincoln and East Lincoln. West just beat North last night in baseball. So North will play East. And you guys had Lincoln and over Newton Conner last night. Real quick, you want to talk about that good game for the Wolves last night?
Well, the Wolves, both teams come in, hadn't won a game. And it was 4-1 till the bottom of the sixth, and the Wolves put across 7 runs on one hit and about 7 or 8 walks and hit batters. It ended up being 11-1 in 6 innings. Oh, yeah. They took the starter out, who was, not too good, but he got tired.
Right.
And the other 2 kids put on the mound. They weren't pitchers. They couldn't. They hit batters and walked. You just went up at the bat. You didn't have to worry about swinging because they couldn't get it close enough.
Well, Crest didn't have a problem with it. They hit about 7 home runs last night. They had 18-0 win against Ashbrook last night. It was flying out of the park in Bowling Springs. Back-to-back state runners-up in baseball. They haven't won a championship. They're trying to get that championship in. A big win for them. Andy Foster returned to our broadcast. He's been out for quite a few months during basketball season, so I want to welcome Andy back. And last night, funny story, I know you weren't listening, but you were in Denver too. No, you were in Lincolnton.
Yeah,
Milton was in Denver. That's what was confusing about last night.
Oh, okay.
Milton kept talking about the Denver weather, and I kept thinking, Ken's right there too. But I looked it up last night. Milton was talking about how cold it was in Denver last night. Yeah, I think I might have heard you guys talk about being chilly too out there.
It cooled off after the sun went down.
When Milton made the comment, it was 50 degrees in Denver. And I told him quit whining, it's still in the 50s. But then I looked up, Denver, Colorado was 57. So,
so Denver, the East was cold. Yeah.
I guess it counts as cold if it's colder in Colorado. But that game goes to extra innings, Ken. In the top of the 8th, Milton Baker's been sitting there for 2 hours. Had to go to the potty. Second batter hit a solo home run.
He missed it.
He missed the home run. Come back and said, I heard something good happened, boys. So Milton stepped away for 2 seconds, came back, solo home run, the play of the game, everything that happened.
Yeah.
They win 2-1. Ironman win 2-1 last night over Lincoln Charter. So that was a KTC baseball last night. Had a great time with that. We've got ACC basketball coming up this got the whole tournament on all 3 stations, guys. Make sure you listen to that. You did have a news and notes on the NASCAR. You want to squeeze that in, Ken?
Yeah, Kyle Busch won last week in Arizona, the Ticket Garden 500. Martin Truex Jr. was second, and this Sunday they'll be in Fontana, California, for the Auto Club 400. I also want to mention that the state championship basketball are being played at Raleigh this weekend and Chapel Hill. So you'll have the girls and boys contest. Playing for the 2A championship will be Forest Hills, who defeated East Lincoln by 9 points this past Saturday, and they'll be going against the Farmville Central team. I understand Farmville Central girls are also playing for a state championship on the 2A side. So Farmville Central evidently got some basketball players.
Well, maybe East should have snuck Sydney on the girls' team.
They probably maybe they should.
Could have done a little better. All right, Addison, you got anything to look forward to this weekend?
No, that's it.
No Steelers. Good news coming up. Nothing else. No Dodgers. Had been a rough week on that. All right, Bubba. I'm just giving you a little business here. All right, Ken. Thank you guys coming in today. Wednesdays 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. You've been listening to the Best in Sports Talk show. Watch on YouTube. If you missed the show, tell your friends, tell your family. Tell your aunts, tell your uncles, boyfriends, and girlfriends. They can watch on YouTube live, watch the replay. Promise we all have a face for radio. And we'll be back next week, Wednesdays, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., ktcbroadcasting.com.
See you then.
Proud to be live and local.
Just in touch with what's going on.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM.